Hilltron where nature is gracious and kind, home of our early youth, grant us the love of truth, health for the body and light for the mind. Kingswood, oh may we be loyal and true to thee.
I will tell you why, in my opinion, Kingswood is the place to be. It is a modest school, Kingswood, more on the small side, moderate, unambitious, with equal place for both failure and delight. It was founded on rich principles. Loyalty and manliness was the motto. To serve the school as family was the belief. Since one never questioned the demands of one's home, in that same way, Kingswood expected you to give without expectations, rewards, or future favors. Do your duty. To serve as you served the school, the country, when it called on you. Because Kingswood was built as a community on community values, though individual brilliance was applauded, the fundamentals were never about individualism. It was about common good and moving together ahead as a team. Ever thought why in 1891 rugby football was introduced to Kingswood, to a school that had barely 22 boys at the end of its first year? Why Kingswood was among the first schools to set up a cadet platoon? The great interest it took in scouting, hiking, mountaineering, and other outdoor play? Why? Louis Edmond Blase, the founder. Community was an important part of his education vision for his little school. Have you heard of the Luther's, Crowther, and Randall's shields? Shields that are given at the prize giving for inter-house learning, inter-house sports, and for the best house of them all at the end of each academic year. Inter-house learning made you strive, not as individuals, not as a group, not as a class, but as a house, to excel in studies for that particular year. In the same way, in inter-house sports, you toiled as a community, mutually encouraging, supporting, motivating the group to collectively win in the sports field. And the house that excelled in both studies and sports, not one by one, but as a whole, was given the Randall's Shield, the top prize of the school. Building character with community values is paramount. Blase's education was more concerned with personality and character, values and temperament. It was not about examinations and about winning at all costs. Principals and teachers who understood this vision of Blase helped Kingswood to continue even after Blase's time. But what kind of community did Kingswood have in mind? Let us go back to Bolton's statement from the earliest times. LEB belonged to a Ceylonese burgher family, but at Kingswood there was no burgher, Sinhalese, Tamil, Malay, Moor, nor any religion nor creed. All the boys, and I should add teachers too, lived and moved like brothers. And LEB always called each of his boys my son. It is hoped that Kingswood will continue in the same spirits. Blase thought and envisioned as a Sinhalese. Blase dreamed Sinhalese dreams. He was deeply nationalistic from a young age, but a Sinhalese nationalism that executed no one. His school was Methodist, but yet secular. It was a meeting point for all faiths, all creeds, all classes, all racial identities. There was no favoritism based on who was your ancestor. Every achievement was merit-based. Every activity reflected an inclusive spirit. For the Kingswood Week, religious observations took all boys to all places of faith. The Temple of the Relic, the mosque, the Methodist Church. All boys partook in multi-faith worship from their very first day at Kingswood. In a church service held by the Kingswood Cadets in 1915, the crowded rows had 300 boys, both past and present, from so many different faiths. In his book, KFE, The Story of Kingswood Candy, page 119, Blase gives us a breakdown of the numbers that day. Church of England 30, Wesleyans 20, Presbyterians 5, Roman Catholics 4, Baptists 2, Salvation Army 2, Buddhists 43, Mohammedans 33, Hindus 10, total 149. Blase's humble pride is notable when he says, "We wondered if anywhere else in the world there was any such assembly of creeds, not to speak of races, at a Christian service, at which attendance was not compulsory in any way." From a young age, these boys fostered perfectly organic relationships as companions and members sharing the trust and honor of a single community. Diversity was a strength and difference was a fact of life. Blase writes in his book that at school, conversion or pressure of any kind was not practiced. No religion or race was superior to the other. Like a mosaic, where each piece and color fits in as an equally significant part of the story, each and every boy was equally accepted and welcome. This is why Kingswood, in my opinion, was, is the place to be. And in 2020, in its 129th year, these values and shared practices of Blase's Kingswood are more relevant to Sri Lankan society than ever before. In 2020, we in Sri Lanka have become blundering victims of 7 decades of hateful divide and rule. Our post-independence politicians have divided us according to races and religions. Violence against fellow humans has been naturalized, even justified. To scorn and be spiteful of another religion has been made an act through which heroes are now born. We are a subspecies that is numb to hatred. The hatred within us we no longer feel. Unconsciously, of people who are different from us, we seek their blood. Men and women who are meant to lead us have reduced us to primates. For our country's worst evil, Kingswood is the answer. For division, ethnic and religious intolerance, superiority, depravity, selfishness, individual greed, the time-tested antidote and remedy is in Kingswood. 129 years after, in its 130th year, understand Kingswood. Look back and feel the heart of the school. Read its pulse. Absorb its true essence. Where there was no Burgher, Sinhalese, Tamil, Malay, Moor, nor any religion nor creed. Where, as Kingswoodians, all the boys and teachers lived and moved like brothers. Where each of the boys were fondly called my son.
Kingswood, oh may we be loyal and true to thee.